Midway's Gauntlet series has always been a button masher's heaven, and Seven Sorrows is no exception. Fans of the franchise will probably love it, but anyone else may find it too short, too easy, and too much of a waste of time. The tale in Seven Sorrows is unique, but not very believable. A powerful king made 7 big mistakes by trusting a team of bad guys that were out to trick him. They fooled him into nailing 4 heroes to a tree. Soon after, the king realized what he did and freed them. Instead of seeking revenge on him, they exercised an extraordinary amount of restraint and decide to help the king by destroying his enemies. It's an interesting setup for a fantasy RPG, but it puts you in the armor of some seriously forgiving heroes. And it lessens the satisfaction of beating the game, when you're just saving the world to make the king happy. The story is told through repetitive, animated storyboard cutscenes that you'll end up skipping if you manage to play the game twice. If you've played one Gauntlet, you've played them all. Ever since the arcade original, each game has been all about running through a fantastical land, killing thousands of bad guys, and finding upgrades, food, and piles of gold. And, like the original, you can get surrounded by hordes of raging enemies. Seven Sorrows does a commendable job of making your characters feel powerful. Upgrading your abilities is very simplistic, and you should get some satisfaction out of getting stronger and learning new moves. With each upgrade, your character's weapon and armor change. This could add some replay value if you want to try to see what each character looks like when they're all decked out. The game is at its best when you have as many targets on screen as possible, so you can slash and blast your way through them. Everything else can get pretty mind-numbing. Playing by yourself is pretty boring unless all you're trying to do is beef up your character. The game is really meant to be played with other people. Seven Sorrows gives you the chance to play with 3 friends in your room or with anyone over Xbox Live. It's much more fun to play with others, but you'll have to learn to communicate. It can get annoying when 3 of you are running in one direction and the 4th fighter will be stuck on the other side of the screen. Seven Sorrows is by far the best looking Gauntlet game to date. Some of the backgrounds are impressive, and the character animations are fun to watch, when you can actually see what's going on. Almost everything you can do, from weapon attacks to magical spells, looks like the 4th of July. This can look pretty, but when you're surrounded, your character can vanish behind pink and yellow clouds. Each level is diverse enough and comes with its own set of enemies. You'll never find yourself hacking the same monsters for more than a level or 2. The bosses aren't out of the ordinary, but some have a clever design, and most of them make you think hard enough to change up the gameplay. The worst part of Seven Sorrows is that each level, and the entire game, is way too short. If you're playing with 3 other slash-happy friends, you can probably burn through the game in a little over 2 hours. For a fantasy RPG, that's barely enough to make a game a satisfying rental. Die-hard Gauntlet fans will definitely get a kick out of Seven Sorrows. It references the classic games in the series numerous times, from the sound effects and environments to the characters and gameplay. It's fun to build up a fighter or a mage and cut through dozens of crazed enemies. But just as the game starts getting repetitive, it ends. So it's not long enough to bore you, but not short enough to keep you playing again and again.